Hey everybody, welcome to next video. Inside this video, we're actually looking over a game that I played maybe about 5 days ago, I think. So this is actually a game that I had on stream, but I figured that I didn't really commentate it because it was on stream. I don't commentate all my games on stream for people who do watch my stream. By the way, shout out, I stream on Twitch, so if you enjoy watching my content, be sure to check it out. Just twitch.tv/peakamwolf. But yeah, I was actually gonna go over this game because it was a really good game to show how I snowballed my lane, and I'll just go over what I'm doing to make it so how I won lane basically, and what I was doing during the early game. So yeah, let's jump into it. Unfortunately, there isn't gonna be anything on the screen, so I'll just be explaining it. So there's not gonna be circles or anything. I don't really know the best way to do a recording like this, but it's not like I'm just doing a YouTube video, so you're not going to see my mouse on screen, and you're not going to see the YouTube bar like popping up now and again, because I figured out a way to just pause and play a media file. So it's actually not too bad. Right here, we're just invading, getting a ward down. Pretty common thing to just see where the enemy jungler starts. Olaf is a really strong jungler that can invade a lot of people, and sometimes when you get wards down like this Olaf is going to be able to then see that maybe they didn't start red buff, and then he can just do his blue into their red, depending on where Kayn starts, really. So I'm playing versus Rise this game, and this is in my Grandmaster account. This isn't inside of my Platinum account, so just to let you guys know, this is inside like pretty high elo, right? Grandmaster, I don't know if there's any challengers in this game, or maybe there's some diamond players in this game. But every single game that you get into, you should always think about, alright, what does my champion do that is better than Ryze's? And honestly, Ryze is a champion, in my opinion now. I know that he's going to probably start Snare. He's going to go a W Snare and an auto attack. That's his trade during the level 1. Zoe trade is better than his because I know I can look for a empowered auto attack plus my Q, and also I can continue auto attacking afterwards. Ryze Snare is on a like 12-second cooldown, long cooldown. Zoe Q is like a 7 or 8-second cooldown, so that means I also have a better window for I can trade more often when his W is actually down because he recently used it. So I get into the lane and I'm pushing immediately. Kind of want to just force Ryze under tower here. It also preps the creep. As you notice, I hit the same creep multiple times. This is because sometimes you don't want to push a wave, but let's say that I did not want to push the wave here. If you don't hit any creep, all the creeps are going to evenly kill each other. So that means that all 3 of the red creeps, like as you can see, all 3 of the blue creeps would all get low at the same time, which makes it harder to last hit. So make sure that you're spreading your auto attacks kind of unevenly on each minion, because if you spread them evenly, then all the creeps are going to get low at the same time, and then you're going to have to either burn ability or you're just going to miss it overall. So because I'm all hitting one creep, and all, by the way, they invaded, that's where Ryze is right now. Apparently they were looking to take our red buff or something, but now that I have this one creep low and I can just kill this one, and there's still 2 more creeps there that are still getting low, and now I can just last hit them without having used an ability possibly, as you can see, because if I just hit all of them equally, each melee creep there equally, I would have actually made it so I would have to use this Q on the wave, because they would all get low at the same time, and I can't last hit all of them at the same time. So there is a purpose behind hitting one creep only at the beginning of a laning phase. So he'll be running back mid here, and because of that, I know that I'll probably trade versus him. The reason why I'm not hitting the wave here is because the wave is already starting to make a slow push towards him, and I also am trying to make it so if I killed the creeps quickly, maybe this red creep that I'm about to hit won't be able to kill this this melee creep. Unfortunately, it lived with like 1 HP, but I was trying to make it so my creep would die before he got here by letting his creeps hit my wave longer, because I'm letting his creep survive. Because I let his creep survive and they're hitting my wave, if my minions die, he misses experience. I don't miss anything. So he comes back, I start rotating a little tiny bit towards him. I look for a Q first, and then, oh, I don't do an auto attack. I probably should went for an auto attack here. I don't play perfectly every single game. I could have looked for an auto attack there, but I did a short trade and then just back off. He didn't even trade back. His mistake here, you will get hit by this 100%, right? As the Ryze, you will for sure get hit by this. There's no way he could dodge that. So I was in range of his W and auto attack. He should have hit me with both of them. Because I was using my window to hit him, and he did not use his window to hit me back. I think he should have. There. So now he's starting to step up towards me, by the way. The reason why he started stepping up towards me was because he knows that my Q is down. And then he walks back because I guess the minion maybe started going aggro on him. Now he's going to start walking back up because he knows my Q might still be down like for a little bit longer. So he's going to look for a W auto attack trade here. So I'm just going to shake hands. It's a common term people say where we both get to trade each other at the same time. I'm just going to go for an auto attack because I already know that I'm winning this trade. Looks like he didn't even go for an auto attack. So I took 73 damage. He took 47 damage plus the airy proc. So another 8. So it was not a favorable trade for me, but you need to remember that I, inside this matchup, in my opinion, should be able to win the early game because he starts a worse item because he's Rise, because you have to go tier first, you have to start the mana crystal. So I have better potions, I have ways to get my mana back better than him, and I also have Ignite and he has Cleanse. So I have all these little tiny advantages that I'm thinking about that if we do even trades over and over again, it's actually going to be in my favor eventually. So we're just hitting here. Now, as you can see, I'm walking up to play aggressive once again. I have my W here, and I know that his W is not only down, but I want to pressure him because pressuring people into uncomfortable scenarios is how you win the laning phase. So I'm going to walk up really far here to try to see if I can hit him with something. I could hit him right here with this Q, and for some reason, I just throw it down like that. No idea why. As I said, I'm not a perfect player. That was a mistake. I actually do that a lot during Zoe laning phase. It's not always the best by me. But the idea is at least I am trying to do it, which is completely fine. Whenever I do coaching sessions with people, I talk about all the time. There's windows that you guys just aren't seeing where you can pressure them very, very slightly, where there's a tiny window where you can use a Q on them, and it actually is really important. I mean, if you want to climb up to Diamond, you need to be able to see these windows every single time. I mean, it's not hard with like playing, if like for me, I've played the game for so long. If anybody has played the game for an extremely long time, you'll eventually see these windows, and I don't even need to think about it anymore because I just know the timings of other champions, and I know that my champion is stronger than his in a certain way. If I was Rise right now, I'd be playing just like how he is, very safe. I'm going to do my best to last hit and go even. That's his goal in this lane during the early game. And then as soon as he's able to get tier plus Rod of Ages, then he'll become tankier, and it's going to be much harder for me to actually kill him. So he just needs to survive the laning phase. I go for the balloon there rather than the melee creep. It looks like 2 creeps are dying at the same time. Now, he's going for this creep. I know that he's going to go for this creep, so I am walking up here, look for a Q that way, Q and an auto attack. I know that I'll win this trade because I'm level 2, and also all he has is W here. So this is for sure going to be favorable for us, right? Our Olaf is also at Raptors right now, so it is not that bad to play very aggressive here. Let's say that Kane, for some reason, did a gank, which would be really weird because there's no way he's level 3 by now. It's only 2:20 into the game. You don't have to be afraid to play extremely aggressive during the early game. You can walk in front of the wave. You're not playing, you're not cheesing. You're literally playing very aggressive to try to get a lead as early as you can when you know that you can't get ganked. And also, Kane ganks just suck versus Zoe. Like, how are they ever going to lock me down, right? So I got huge trade there. I also was able to get another auto attack in and get another airy proc off. Use my Q again, looking for a this is like a special spot. So okay, another thing, I don't talk about this with Zoe. How you use your Qs, don't throw it backwards during laning phase. You throw it to find sneaky angles on people. You see how I threw it up to dodge the minion wave and then towards where he's at. It's not going to land, but those are the types of Qs that are going to make you win the laning phase, not the long ones behind you unless you land a bubble. Look for an auto attack here, because he walked back up again. So once again, I'm really paying attention to his movement. I'm trying to get constant trades. If he trades back, I have barrier, by the way. That's the reason why I kind of went for that trade. And he was also level 1 at the time. And then by the way, I back off immediately. That's because all the creeps went onto me. I do not want to take creep aggro for that long. It will damage you a ton. So make sure that when you're trading inside of the creep wave like that, because I was standing inside of his creeps will not hit me unless 2 things happen. Firstly, or 2 different things happen. Firstly, if I hit him, the creeps will go to me. That's what happened. Or his creeps kill one of my creeps and I'm the next closest target. So that means I can actually walk up into his creep wave, and if I don't hit him, I can stay there for as long as I still have creeps on my side that are still autoing the other creeps, basically. So I use barrier. I don't know why. I just use barrier there, and there's another barrier on the ground. So right here, I was looking for a trade versus him, and then I looked for a bubble, but for some reason, like, it was just awful. That was bad. That was just bad. I remember when I was playing this game, I said it was bad too. I was like, oh, I just trolled. But, now, there's a gank happening by Thresh, so I just walk over to pick up the barrier, because the barrier is super important. By the way, this wave is massive, so I'm not really that afraid here. So I walk over, ignite him for the movement speed. We'll get out of the tower range, because I was, like, barely in tower range there. He cleanses it, and then Thresh is here. So I'm just gonna walk towards him. It's not that big of a deal. I don't even think I need to use flash here. I know that, by the way, Ryze snared me at the beginning of this fight, so all Ryze has is his E here. I press barrier to dodge the damage of some of the damage. Maybe I could have used it even earlier. Once again, nobody's gonna play perfect. I mean, looking back at it, you can always say, oh, I messed up here. Oh, I messed up here, but in the moment, it's a lot harder. So Thresh flashes away. I use a Q, and I know that this is going to land if I also flash, so I figure that I should flash too. So I flash, look for another auto attack. This guy will die, and we got first blood. Now, Ryze is super low. Ryze also, there's a flash on the ground, so I'm going to pick it up. It looks like Olaf sees what I'm trying to do. This is a big wave also crashing on Ryze's side, so I know that even if we trade 1 for 1, it would be good, because we would actually deny a lot of creeps that I got still. So flash after him, he gets it. Now I flashed upwards, which was a mistake, because I wasn't thinking about earlier in the game. Olaf invaded and took Kane's red buff, and they started our red buff. Whenever a jungler starts your red buff, that means they're vertical jungling, which means that they're jungling on one side of the map. So he's jungling on the top side, and my jungler is jungling on the bot side. If I flashed downward, I would have been fine. But I flashed upward, so I died to Kane here, because he's obviously in his jungle. There's no way he's bot side, because why would Kane be bot side? He started our top side. Kane knows our Olaf took his red, for sure. So, that was a mistake by me. So I die. Unfortunately, there's no way to speed up the clip.
That's okay.
But yeah, this is what's happened so far. So far, this guy is 4 CS mid. He does have, oh wait, no, he doesn't have TP. Yeah, he has cleanse. Yeah, so this was even worse for him. By the way, so this is really, really bad for Ryze, because it's going to start slow pushing towards me. And this is where it really becomes a struggle for him. Because it is very hard for some champions to stop a freeze. The reason why it's going to push towards me, I think this is when it begins. We'll see. But eventually I do set up a freeze. The reason why I say it's going to push towards me, by the way, because the wave is somewhat even. I think it's barely on his side. But the thing is, it's more towards his side of the map. So you have to think of the mid lane as, you can put a little like cross section straight through the middle of mid lane, the middle of it. And if it's more shifted towards his side, that means his creeps are going to arrive to the wave faster than mine. So his creeps will be hitting my creeps sooner than my creeps will be hitting his. What does that mean? Well, that means that his creeps, since they're going to damage them more, the wave's actually going to build, because his creeps are going to be dealing more damage, thus pushing towards me. It's as simple as that. It's not really that complicated. All that matters is he has more creeps than me, and it's on his side. So now that there's 3 casters here, I think I freeze. But also, he's shoving in. Honestly, okay, so this is a mistake by Ryze, probably. I haven't looked at this before, but I do know, like, a mistake when I see one. And why I'm saying this is a mistake is, he should just let me shove towards him and just last hit. Just stay on the top side, away from my bubble, and just continue last hitting, because when you're pushing like this, now I can just permanently freeze. I ping assistance here because I know that he has no flash, and there's an easy chance, you see where Olaf is right now, he can gank through that bottom side where you walk up the ramp and then loop behind him, because I'm actually just going to let him push here and freeze. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for trades, because you still need to play aggressive, because
What Rise needs to do, because of how he set up the wave, because he keeps on hitting it, he actually made it so it will slow push towards me faster now. But now he's trying to clear the wave. The reason why he's trying to clear the entire wave here, by the way, is because he needs to unfreeze it. Otherwise, he's screwed. Rise does not have the best wave clear, and especially because he died. He didn't even get it by tier. Look at his mana cost, right? Look at his mana cost. He's using all of his mana, and he doesn't have the best way to unfreeze this. So if I freeze it, I will just continue denying CS, and we'll see what happens. So what he needs to do is, as you can see, he's shoving out, and you see my next minion wave. That's a very, I always talk about this inside my videos. You see where my minion wave is on the map. The next one that's coming up, right? That is mirrored on his side. So we know where his wave is as well. So what I need to do, it doesn't matter about his wave, but that's a good way to know if you can crash your own wave. So what he needs to do is he needs to crash this wave, like make his minions go under my tower before my minion wave arrives, because that's how you freeze. That's how you freeze. So I play super aggressive. Why am I playing aggressive? Because I'm trying to make him walk away from the wave. I don't want him to touch this wave, because if I freeze, he's really boned. Really boned. So I'm actually trying to just pressure him to let these creeps die slower, because the creeps are going to kill him slower than him also hitting it. If he hits it too, then it's going to die faster, thus push towards me sooner. So now, but my wave is here. So my wave has arrived. So what this means is, I don't know why I dematted there, by the way. That was probably a mistake. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to sit and wait and freeze this. So now what happens is 2 fresh waves come in, but he had 3 minions at the start, so his minions have more minions than mine, so his minions will beat mine because there's just more of them. So it's actually going to push towards me, and look how close it is to my tower. So now he has to step up really far. That's what's going to happen here. So now that he steps up far, remember I assist pinged earlier, and high elo players understand wave scenarios, especially when you ping them out. So this Olaf knew my idea, and then he also just knew that it would be very free. So we have it perfectly set up, and now we just come in. Unfortunately, he has phase rush, so we can't get him. Maybe I could have stepped up a little bit sooner. So once again, maybe a mistake by me, but we got him once again chunked, and now he can't unfreeze this basically forever. Because now, okay, remember, the wave is still frozen, by the way, because there's 3 casters on my side, and look how many casters are on his side. So look how big the wave is on both sides, and his creeper will kill mine for sure. So what I do is I'm just going to keep this frozen here. So this is going to deny CS from him, because he's not even close enough to get experience, because he got low from Olaf gank. You don't always have to get kills. This is huge. I didn't even get a kill on this guy. I have 2 assists, and I set up a freeze, and my Olaf comes one time. And then it's just basically over for him. I know that some people might have a question of like, okay, but what if your Olaf didn't come? Well, yeah, I mean, I probably would have still played aggressive, and I would have still tried to keep it frozen as long as I possibly can, because you can bluff that the jungler's there, and then maybe he'll back off, and then sometimes you can get really favorable trades. Like, he'll step up to try to focus the wave, because as I said before, he needs to fix the wave, because if it doesn't fully crash, I can keep this going basically forever if I play it smart. So what he needs to do is he needs to push it in, and if he's focusing all of his spells on the wave to push it in, then I can just run to the side of my wave, get near him, and then use all of my spells on him to try to win versus him. So his options, and also some people might be asking, well, Pekin, if you were the Rise, what would you do if you were the Rise? Well, there's a few things. Firstly, number 1, Yukon is back. He was pretty unhealthy from the start, and he didn't even get to buy his tier. If he didn't have enough mana, and you just have to take the loss, because you have to think of it this way. I know that a lot of people are like, what? But you just lose then, right? You lose the wave. Yeah, you do. That sucks, right? But another scenario that could happen, which is you could try to shove out and you can die. So dying is just like backing. So what's better, backing and not dying, or trying to shove in a scenario that basically is impossible and dying? Of course, he didn't die, but that's just like an example. Sometimes it's better to not die and get into a bad scenario than die and be still stuck in that bad scenario. Both of, like, one's actually worse than the other. So sometimes you just have to take a big fat L because the next L is going to be even bigger. The next thing that he could do is that he can just risk it, just walk up. Maybe the jungler's not here, and he shoves in. Because the wave is big, it's easier to shove it in all the way, because I won't be able to, like, just, like, walk into his wave and just continue fighting him. If he just starts fighting me inside of the wave, maybe he can even beat me. Some champions do that. Or he can assist ping a ton and ask for help. That is the safest play and what high elo players normally do. I will spam ping, I need help. Because the wave is awful, and if I try to shove out, I will die. Maybe die. Like, there's a high chance that the jungler will come because it's a really good scenario for them to gank me. So the last thing that they should do is that the best thing that they can do as Rise is assist ping, say, Kane, I need your help to shove this wave in all the way. And they just come and they just take the wave with you, and it unfreezes it. Also, you can ask for lane help as well. How lane help normally works is that if your teammate's lane is shoving, like look at my Maokai, you see how he's under tower? That means that the top laner of their team is actually shoving my Maokai in. Now, when Maokai gets shoved under tower, that top laner, the enemy top laner, has a window where he can do something. What can he do? Does he want to invade? Does he just want to pressure Maokai under tower? I don't know. But that's a window where you can be like, top lane, you have a lot of pressure. Can you just come mid for one wave and hover me so we can get this wave in to fix it? You can ask your laners that. And some of them are just smart enough to do it, depending on what elo you're in. But these are just examples of how to fix this wave scenario if you are the Rise.
Rise had to back. Oh,
so,
okay.
He didn't back, right? And the wave is still screwed. You know why he didn't back? Because the wave is screwed. He does not want to... He's missing a lot of creeps, by the way. He missed one melee there. He just missed one more melee. You have to think about all these creeps that he's missing, by the way. And now he thinks that maybe it's shoved in all the way. Okay, now he's going to miss a caster, and he missed another caster. This is money he's missing and experience. And I think the experience is even more important than the other thing. So, as you can see, it's still frozen. It's still frozen versus him. It will eventually slow push back because I didn't have a big enough wave, I think. And also, I eventually want to pressure through my lead. So I have 31 CS. He has 15. I did press pause there, not at the correct time, but I did see the stats. Okay, 31 to 15. This is a big lead just through simple understanding of how to freeze versus a champion that really struggles during the early game is a huge advantage. You can do this versus champions that, by the way, like, let's say you're playing versus a Kassadin and you're playing as Lucian mid, right? That's so good for Lucian. Some people just push Kassadin under tower, and Kassadin can farm, and sometimes he will get low because you're always autoing him when he goes for the caster minions, because he's a melee champion and he can't do anything versus you, especially versus at like 1 through 4, level 1 through 4, right? As Kassadin, you can't do anything. But for some reason, people don't do this, and including myself sometimes. Imagine if you were the Lucian, right? And you pushed in a wave, then let the wave slow push back, and you were Lucian here. And imagine if the Zoe is Lucian and the other person was Kassadin. How boned Kassadin would be. He can't unfreeze it because he has no wave clear. He can get ganked whenever. If he ever walks up, you just all in him, and you have to run him. You get to run him down in a longer lane. By the way, why freezes are good is because it enables ganks, and it enables a longer lane to chase them down in. That's why freezing is so good. Just to let you guys know. So, I'm still last standing because now I know, because he's not showing up for a bit, he backed. He backed for sure, so I'm just freezing. Keeping the freeze, because the longer I keep this freeze, the more minions he's going to miss. So he finally arrives back. My cannon is about to die, and so is his. Oh, do I really miss? I missed that cannon. Are you kidding me, dude? Okay, just hitting the wave. Blitzcrank comes mid, looks like. And he's gonna miss it, but that's okay. I'm gonna look for a trade here. got a pretty okay Q. The reason why I'm looking for a trade there is because I had exhaust. I could just exhaust him. Also, he's weak. He's really weak. So this is going to start pushing towards him. Finally, the wave is starting to unfreeze. But that's fine because he's level 4 because of all the experience he missed from the freeze. This is huge, right? So he missed a lot. I pick up exhaust. I'm still playing very aggressive. Notice my positioning. This is really important. Like, people don't talk about this. People are like, always watch my videos and they're like, wow, it looks so easy when you do it. Then when I go into it, it's because they don't realize that how important positioning is. And it's very hard to really coach it or talk about it in game. But I am playing aggressive, but I'm also playing towards my side that is safe, which is the pink ward lane. And I also know that if I get ganked by Kayn, I should be okay. All of these things are factors. Just looking for poke here. I hit a bubble on him. This is a mistake by Rise. I talked about this. You see how he used cleanse there? For people who play against Zoe, or any, let's say any champion, dude, you need to understand the combos if you want to play at a high level for anybody who really does want to learn League of Legends a bit more. Now, I don't know how to go back, unfortunately. So if you guys can go back, if you want to see, if you don't remember what I just did, I went Q, R, and then I R'd into him, and I Q'd him, and I think I exhausted him to slow him down, and then I pressed my E on him to sleepy him. So I used Q, and I used my E on him with my R. My sleepy lands. He's asleep. Now, if I was Rise, would I use cleanse? No. Why would I not use cleanse? Because I just used the Q on him. So, with the Q being down, there's actually no way for me to actually proc that sleepy. There's no way because I already used the Q. So, remember that when you trade versus Zoe, if she Rs you and then sleeps you without using Q, you're going to get hit by a long Q. But if she's using Q and then sleeping you, the chances are, if she does not have CDR yet, if you have like 20% CDR, you can do it fast enough. But in this case, I have literally 0% CDR. Then you're actually fine. Just don't be afraid. She can auto attack you, but she's not going to kill you with the long Q because it's going to still be on cooldown. So he actually wasted his cleanse here, just to let you guys know, which is big. This is a really small advantage. This tiny mistake that he made is huge for me. When someone's cleanse is down, if I ever land bubble on this guy, he's just dead now. So
if you're ever playing versus Zoe, do not use your cleanse.
People don't understand these super tiny mistakes are the things that make it so I can win every single game inside Platinum if I play Zoe, right? These super small mistakes are the things that the advantages that I get inside my laning phase. And the things that I know what to do that are mistakes of the enemy person that I can really abuse. So, the wave is going to crash soon. I think we're going to continue looking for just like really sneaky Qs, looking for a long range Q here. The reason why I'm looking for a long range Q now, rather than, I'm not like looking for trades on him. I think I'm just trying to shove in the wave because I want the wave to fully crash.
A Q is not going to be coming because I just used it. So.
It's not the easiest to like crash someone who's standing behind creeps. I do look for like a sneaky Q there. Like angle it so that if he was still like stepping up a little bit, that could have maybe hit him. Because if it does hit him, I don't even use my pearl jump. If it does hit him, he'll get really low. I see a proto belt on the ground. That's really important, by the way. Whenever you have proto belt on Zoe, you normally can look for all-ins pretty easily. I don't even go for that cannon. Holy moly, dude. That was jeez, have I gotten a cannon at this game? Okay, so the reason why proto belt's so good on Zoe is because it clears the entire back wave. So, he should have backed, in my opinion. The reason why I'm shoving the back wave here, there is a reason. He is pretty unhealthy, right? You know he's unhealthy. If he gets hit by a sleepy, is he dead? You should know that answer. For sure, right? For sure. So, if I don't shove here and he backs, that's actually not that good for me. What I want to do is I want him to be in an uncomfortable scenario where I have the best chance to kill him. And what is that scenario? Well, the chances are if I don't push, he might reset because the wave will just stay even. And then he can just come back and maybe he'll miss like 4 creeps. But if I push as fast as I can, as soon as a new wave arrives, I can actually push this whole entire wave under his tower and maybe deny an entire wave if he resets. because the turret's going to kill it much faster. So, because he doesn't want to miss this wave because I'm pushing it, he's going to stay now. This is important. So I am pushing with a reason. There's a reason for this push because I want him to stay. As soon as I see him stay, then I think I slow down my push because I'm also like, I need to be thinking about my mana, right? I am thinking about my mana here. So, I'm watching top. I see Kane. So, now that I know he's going to stay, I don't need to panic. I just need to be ready for the fight that I want here now. Okay, so I look for a Q here. It's not going to land. But I'm looking for any angle where I can somehow hit him with the sleep. So right here, he's stepping up. I get a good sleepy on him. He uses his W here. Now I have Proto Belt and I have Ignite. I look for a Q. Hit him with it. I Proto Belt at the same time. Auto attack and Ignite. Back up. Out of tower range. I'm out of tower range now. Right now. Just got out of tower range. Now, is he dead? No, he's not. So, with the final part of the combo is, I ulti in, I get back into tower range, but I unreset it. So now the tower is actually focusing something else now. And then the tower shoots the other thing, and then, like, I don't really think about that, but even if the tower did shoot me one more time, I would have been fine. But I did get out of it initially. Then I ulti in, look for that last auto attack. That last auto attack procs Airy, and he dies to the final tick of Ignite. Literally has 4 HP, and he's dead. So if I didn't do that last auto attack, he would have died, or not died there. So I literally played it basically the best I could in that scenario. So he dies. So now I can just shove in. And by the way, remember that during this whole entire freeze, I was getting a lot of money. So now I am massive, massive. So I'll be able to carry this entire game, basically. So I just shove in this wave, or try to. Because, wait, do I not shove it in? No, I do. Okay. The reason why I'm shoving in this wave is because, remember how I said if there's more creeps on one side than the other, then it's going to slow push to the enemy? Well, as you can see, it's actually going to slow push towards him, because you can see that there's more creeps on my side. You can see those 2 caster minions right there that were from the old wave, and then I have a new wave coming in. So I think it would have actually slow pushed towards him, just barely or anything. So I don't want that. If it was slow pushing towards me, I could have reset. But there was no minions on his side, so I'm just going to quickly try shoving this in as fast as I can. And Rise ulti's back. I don't know if how easily I can do this. So I'm going to look for the cannon here, I think. And then just auto attack this one. And then I'm just going to back off. He doesn't freeze. He could have freezed that, by the way. He could have. So that maybe was a mistake on his end, too. If he froze that, maybe I would have been in a much worse spot. So I'm gonna buy my items, head back mid. Got a pink ward, of course. And now, I mean, remember, this is all stemming from the freeze. Like, these kills, you know, they're important, but it's only 0-2. Honestly, in most of my games, I don't get this big of a lead. And I'm 2 levels up. The experience is the biggest thing for me. When I'm level 8 and he's level 6, that's huge. If he was level 8 and I was level 8 and I'm up to 1 kill and 2 assists, that's fine, dude. He actually can still lane. But because I'm up 2 levels, that's the biggest part. Look for a long range Q here just to clear the back wave. No idea where this guy went. Gonna shove this in all the way, try to find him. Maybe put down a ward here because I just shoved in. Gonna portal jump to put down a deeper ward. Now, I have time where I can do stuff here because I just shoved in, so I guess I'm going to hit this. Now the next wave is coming. I just didn't have anything to do. It was pretty hard to harass him under tower there, so I just wasn't looking. Long range Q on the back. I think look for a bubble here. I don't look for the bubble, okay? I just went for an auto attack. I think maybe I was trying to scare him. Once again, I'm stepping up because I know that if I just stand in front of my wave, remember, I'm super fed. I'm level 9, he's level 7 now. So I have level 5 Q, and he has not scaled whatsoever on Rise, which is a scaling champion. Okay, so he's like just like holding the wave here, so I was looking for a Q, trying to get a sneaky Q off because he was just standing in place. I'm still looking for Qs. I don't care if I take trades versus him, it's not bad, because if I land any one of my abilities, I will beat him. So land that. He used cleanse. That was a fine cleanse for him because I used my sleepy before my Q there, by the way. Look for a nice Q. My Q's on a really low cooldown. So, just constantly looking for them. Looking for special angles. Always hitting the back wave every single new wave. When it becomes around this time where like we both are like higher levels, normally it's not worth freezing anymore. It's better just to constantly shove in to create pressure and then be ready to rotate to wherever fights are happening on the map. That's normally the plan. Not many champions freeze past this point because normally it's more important to be inside of fights than it is to just try to win lane. Look for another Q. Barely misses. Hit a bubble on him. I'd pick up Redemption. If I land bubble here, he should die. Oh, he got hit by an Ezreal ulti. Huh. That was pretty random, but forgot about that. Alright, so. This is not going to land, by the way. But I'm looking for a Q here because landing a long range Q is more important than landing my sleepy. And he was standing pretty far away. You have to think about like the range of your abilities. And in this case, there's no way a bubble will land. So I actually looked for a long range Q here because I know it should deal a ton of damage. Now, when you're playing versus certain champions and you're inside certain laning scenarios, and this is really, if you want to become really good at Zoe, this is something you gotta learn. When you know a Q is going to land and it's a very long Q, but it might be just out of range, or like you know it's not, this is not going to kill him, but it's going to get him really low. So, the idea is to actually flash and ignite and auto attack. So you put them all together. So what's going to happen here is that as soon as I realized it, I paused around the time that I realized it. So I knew it was coming up because I do this often. A lot of Zoe players do this often. But as soon as you have the opportunity to kill someone with your flash Q combo, then you should. So right here, I know that this is going to get him low enough to kill him. So I flash because I know he needs a little tiny bit more damage. So, as you can see, it did a lot of damage. That's how much it would have done without my flash. Wouldn't have killed him. So I ignite him, and remember I used cleanse earlier, so he has no cleanse. I auto attack him, and airy proc, and now he's dead again. So, kill him off of that. If I didn't use flash, he would have survived. And that's just knowing my champion, and being mentally prepared for, okay, if he's inside the queue, which I know that he should, you should see somebody's path and be like, that's gonna land. That's gonna land if I flash right now. Like, that's what I'm thinking about. I'm not actually, like, thinking about it, but, like, it's because it's, like, kind of instinctual, but that's kind of what you should be thinking about. So land a bubble on this guy, chunk him really hard. Right here, I was trying to be kind of sneaky. All right, what do you guys think is going to happen when I throw my Q? Kane's going to Q, right? So I actually tried to put it where I thought he would Q. And it actually just barely misses. That would have killed him, by the way. I should have thrown it more to the side. That would have killed him, but think about what your opponent's going to do when you use your abilities so you can get more kills as well. I was thinking about what he was going to do, and I almost predicted it. Almost. So I'm going to try to shove in this wave once again. And once again, trying to shove it in because I'm trying to reset here. I'm completely out of mana. That's the problem. I just actually give up the wave. Because I would have had to wait for the next one. So I think I just back here completely. So we're up like 40 CS. And we have 2 kills now. I have a full Ludens. Blitzcrank is... Oh. Looks like Ryze is going to die again. Pretty sure. Oh, he gets slowed, flash, pull, and he's dead. Oh, and he used flash too. That was not a good flash by him. He was pretty boned. As soon as you get hit by the Blitzcrank knockup, he probably can't flash away because Blitzcrank will just pull him back, most likely, and hold his waist as flash. And now we're rifting mid. We'll get the plate. I look for a bubble here, no? Oh, I don't. Thresh is coming. I look for a flash away for not only to just make sure that I don't have to dodge it, but also I was looking for a long range Q. So I was doing both things here. Flash, Sleepy, doesn't hit. But I think I still go. Because he's walking back mid. He doesn't see me here because of the pink ward. Hit him. Auto attack. Use flash to proc my W. So I just kill him there. So remember that you can... R auto attack flashed. And then my W procs it again. So that's how I killed him there. Once again, I just knew the damage of my champion. When I'm really, really fed, I can kill anybody. The Varus was 203, by the way. Like, he was strong too. But not as strong as I am. And I caught him off guard with my pink ward too. And I guess he just was running back the same way. So I think I get handoff blue here. Oh no. I don't remember losing blue like that. Oh man, that's sad. Oh, I don't get blue. Look for a long range Q. I'm going to walk in front of the wave. I'm just looking to pressure. If he steps up, he's dead. That's what I'm looking to see. If this was like, let's say this was like gold or silver, I'm pretty sure some players would make the mistake of stepping up towards me and they would just die. So I'm just seeing what he would do. I step up, he backs off. I'm fine with that. I'll just clear the wave for free. I don't want him to contest the wave at the same time as me, because if I get to contest the wave first and I get to push first, it creates more window for me to do whatever I want. I could back, like what I'm doing now. I could roam. If we're both hitting at the same time, we both clear the wave at the same time. He also now can do something at the same time as me. I don't want that. I have a lead. So I am going to walk up towards him to scare him away from the wave. I'm not trying to kill him, but if he does contest, I will kill him. But because he's backing away, I'm like, all right, so let me clear first, then I'll move somewhere to try to do something, and then you get to clear the wave because I'm pushing you in, and then you get to do something after me. So I'm trying to make it so I have a longer window to do any type of macro play, really. I could walk into the enemy jungler's like location and try to look for a pick. I could just go top and try to dive the Urgot. Hit Drowsy here. Look for Ignite. I probably should have went a little bit more aggressive on this guy. Looking for really short range Qs on this guy, but he just dies. He used Cleanse there for some reason as well. Looking for a Q here. This was really troll by me. I should have not done that. Use Cleanse to run away from the Urgot who roams down. I'm just trying to run away, land a Sleepy, look for the long range Q. I'm able to kill him because I'm just so strong at this point. And everybody's just going to die here. So... Urgot did roam down from top lane. He was actually doing fine top lane as well, I think. Oh, wow. Wow. I completely forgot about that. If you guys didn't notice that, I just, like, saw where an arrow came from, and I just threw a Sleepy over there, and it landed on Varus. So we just kill him, too. So I literally am smurfing at this point. As you can see, the Blitzcrank is pinging me because he thinks I'm freaking nuts. So... if you want to rewatch, I was talking during it, talking about like what I was doing for like running away from Urgot. I didn't know Urgot was there, by the way, but because I just had my cleanse ready, so I just used it and it gave me the Nimbus cloak movement speed and W movement speed that I just was able to run away really fast. And also that was a bad dive by me when I was looking for the Kayn, because if Thresh did land hook there, I could cleanse it, but I still think that it was not necessary. I think that could have, in a more even game, that could have killed me, but I'm just so fed in this game that it doesn't really matter. And then I smurfed all over the Varus. So it might have distracted you guys from the biggest insane play. I think that was the coolest play that I did this game. I'm not really impressed by the flash Q stuff. That's pretty normal stuff for high-low, but the blind E over the wall from where Varus threw a arrow, I like the blind stuff where you catch someone off guard. So, yeah, I've been part of 11 kills this game, by the way. That's why this game, I feel like I carried it for sure. I mean, 11 out of 14 kills is a really good kill participation. Just to let you guys know. Wait, did I oh my gosh, I think I remember this game. So okay, so I'm a troll. I like having just fun. So I think I typed, hey, Ezreal or Thresh, because they were losing bot, right? They were like... They were like, the enemy Varus was like 203 when he died the first time, so they were winning bot lane. So I'm like, yo, type bot diff. just to upset them, because it's a mid-diff and jungle gap game, right? And not bot whatsoever. So I was just trying to I just wanted to see what they would do, because most people, when they see that, they know that, like, if I was the enemy bot lane, I'd be like, yo, my team, they're just trolling because the freaking jungle and mid gap is too big. But it seems that they actually got a little bit upset. I earned my LP, unlike you. Oh my gosh. Just looking for sneaky Qs over walls. I'm pushing in the wave, and then like at this point in the game, you just push, try to come with your team, and just, like, I don't know, look for picks somewhere. That's what Zoe does. So I push, I walk to, look at these pinks, right? If I land my sleepy, he's dead. So I think he's gonna stay inside the wall. Most Canes do. So I just throw it into the wall. So I sleepy him here, and then he's just dead. He just gets one shot, and then I think they FF any moment after this. I feel like they do.
Can they just FF already, please?
Any second now. I think I walk over to this side. I'm looking for a sleepy or a Q from a... I'm looking for the flash play, remember? So I think it... Oh, man. Oh, I do flash here. Oh, that would have killed him if he didn't have flash, by the way. That sleepy would have killed him. So I was just looking for a play there. Ezreal ulties, and it killed the Varus. So now Varus is probably tilted out of his mind. Remember that I told you, if you see a long-range Q when you're fed, it's gonna almost one-shot them. If I ignited him, he might have died. Maybe I messed up. I don't even know if I had ignite there, but... 2 times this game I did the flash Q trick, where you ulti in, if you think it's gonna land, just do it. Alright, so Kane's just dead here. He got pulled. And... I'm just continued barraging with Qs. It doesn't matter where you really throw them. When you're fed, you should just be constantly throwing them. And then I'll show you guys the damage after the game. I remember the damage was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy damage this game. Look, I'm fed bot div.
I actually carried that game. Maybe
So, on my Grandmaster account, as you can see,
Olaf never ganked, then I can't
give it to Olaf because he really contributed, right? He saw the play. And look at that damage chart, man.
God, dude.
I mean, I definitely think I carried the game. But yeah, for anybody who has questions, let me know. I tried to make sure that this was as clear as possible for, like, everything you need to know about how I set up my lane for success, and how I literally made it so I didn't just win lane because the other guy was, like, bad. Like, he made some mistakes occasionally, but, like, I really did my best this game to set up everything perfectly. I think this was actually, like, the perfect freeze game I've had in a long time, where a freeze contributed to so many things, and then I just kept it rolling and got a huge lead off of it. This stuff is really important. Honestly, I don't consider myself that mechanically proficient of a player. I'd make some mistakes. Yeah, I've done some crazy mechanic stuff before, but honestly, the biggest thing is just knowing game sense, which is what I consider, and just learning how to put yourself into these scenarios often so you get huge leads, which then can translate into these big wins with your team. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Also, like, I would still be doing, like, as I said, I would still be doing this even if Olaf didn't gank. I would still be freezing because I was trying to make Ryze into an uncomfortable scenario where I can maybe sleepy him. Even if the Olaf never ganked that first time, which first set up the initial, like, snowball, it would have been fine. I would still do the same exact thing. And yes, sometimes you're not going to have teammates that will help you with the thing. You're sometimes going to have bad teammates. I'm playing on my platinum account. I've lost games, guys. I'm not winning every single game. I've had games where my entire team's 0-6 and I'm 10-5 and I just lose because you can't win every game. So just letting you guys know, if you do this more often, though, you will win more games. You will. You're not always going to have bad teammates. And sometimes you're going to have really good teammates. I don't have teammates like this all the time where they actually come mid and help me out all the time when I'm trying to set stuff up. This isn't going to always happen. But if you're actually working towards that and just making the other laner, as I said, uncomfortable, you will get more games won. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you like this video, be sure to drop a like. It really helps it out, especially for a new format of a video, because Liking it just means that I get more views, because I want to make sure that it's something that's even profitable as well, because these videos are super long, just like my coaching videos. My coaching videos honestly get way less views than my other videos. So if you do like it, be sure to drop a like, drop a comment. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer it, because sometimes I get tons and sometimes I miss them. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I think there's a lot of information. I did my best to make it so there would be no questions, because I thought about both sides, about like, oh, what would you do if you were the Rise, and all this kind of stuff, like, oh, what if Olaf didn't come? So try to make it so there's no questions. Hopefully I covered everything, and I will see you guys next time.